Now the moon plays a factor in the water of our bodies. Our body consists of 75% or more of water. But the water in our body is not like the water that we see in the lakes and the oceans. The water in our body is very identical to the sounds in space, the waters and the firmaments. In your Bible, it says that there was waters in the firmaments, meaning above your head. But the waters and firmaments are sounds that, again, when they are sped up, they create openings for other forces to enter and to exit. And the moon, the original moon, not the artificial one that was built by the forces here, but the original moon. The original moon is a moon that is inhabited by things that awaken during a specific season. In springtime, these forces that come to the surface of the moon send data into the atmosphere, into that water above us in that firmament. And when the real full moon occurs, that information or that data that is sent into those elements in the firmament, which we call the waters, come down in the form of mist. And when that mist touches the soil emit certain information into the cells of those who are ancient, who are intelligent. We are here to go to school. We are here to obtain information to take back to somewhere else so that we no longer come back here. But something has interfered with the cycle of the souls that don't belong here. The artificial moon that was set up by the forces here that cannot cross over into other dimensions upon death have created technology to interfere with the ancient souls so that when they die and leave from this realm, they cannot properly cross over. But the energy bounces back to the earth to reincarnate, going outside of race. Those melanated beings who we call Africans, who we call black, are not from this earth. And this is why our RNA throws out the carbonated elements in our immune system, which is supposed to heal us whenever anything foreign enters our body. There are 188,000 stars above our heads, which represent the 188,000 cultures of beings that were trapped during war. At a time where, when they built that artificial moon, it trapped their children here on earth. And these are the children in which we call Africans or black. 33 degrees of knowledge was given to a people who did not understand or understand what they were given. They stole things that were not in the best interest of their evolutionary process of manifestation when it comes to technology. What is in our bodies is not what is in other people's bodies. The ringing in our ears is sounds that is not created here, but sounds that is being thrown from other dimensions, beyond the third, beyond the 3D, and extended beyond the fifth. Did you know that melanin is a higher form of carbon which produces DNA? Carbon produces DNA, but melanin produces an intellectual form of DNA. And this carbon can be used to peek through into other worlds. You may say, why would we want to peek into other worlds? And where are these other worlds? They're not just above our heads. They are all around us. And we can't see them because there is a gas that was created to blind the third eye. There are things living in the sun. There are forces living in the moon. And there are things being thrown from the sun into the oceans on this earth. During summer, the core of the sun becomes more softer, which allows certain intellect to be thrown into the atmosphere. But the thing is, when fear is created in those melanated people on this earth, that fear creates a barrier in the middle of this water that we call the horizon or the firmaments, which blocks and traps that intelligence from being thrown to the floor in which we are. So through this melanin, as I said before, melanin is a sound. And the sound that we are hearing in our ears is this melanin increasing its vibration to throw out things to the sun so that the sun in return can throw back things into us. We are living within dimensions that are in dimensions that is in our DNA. Tomorrow is something that is playing out in our DNA. 1,000 years from now is something that is playing out in our DNA. And 1,000 years from now, you will be living the scripts of that time that is playing out through our DNA. But where is our DNA? Is it really in our body? The physical aspect of it is. But DNA is in space. It is in space being kept inside of a book of information that you record. Every time you learn something, it is copied and pasted into a book that you are connected to. You can call this book a star. So to those who are experiencing the ringing in the ear, you are experiencing a new world that is unfolding in your DNA. I keep telling y'all that DNA is not just something in the body. Our DNA is being tampered with every time they go into space and they let out elements to compromise the evolutionary process of the time that has already been embedded into our DNA before we came here. You are not you. You are not what you are seeing with your physical eye. You are not somewhere. You are in a brain that's telling you that you are somewhere. The word somewhere is English. And at one time, the English language did not exist. So before the word somewhere existed, could you really say that you were somewhere? Everything that you were taught were lies. Everything that is written, you wrote it. There is no supreme being other than yourself, who is the author of the book that it wrote before it started to live it. Imagine you saying that I'm going to put myself through something, but not in this form. I'm going to go and have a human experience. And once I jump down into this ocean of 3D, of being a physical entity, I'm going to live out everything that I read. Everything that's going to happen in the next 5 minutes, you wrote it. But you think you didn't because you have no memory of writing it. But when you are born to become human, your memory is turned off. The ringing in your ears represents World War III, which is the spiritual war. Every time you fear, you throw off that energy into the firmaments of that ocean above your head to block your intelligence from being able to reach your DNA. The physical part of it. They are not going to teach you what they don't know. They were given 33 degrees of information. And we know that water freezes at 32. Water represents life. So if your life is frozen, 33 degrees of knowledge is not going to help you hydrate into understanding and wisdom. You are dehydrated in what you are understanding, meaning that you are thirsty in your movements and understanding of life. The way that you think can affect your perception. The perception of who you are here is not what you really are. Anytime you teach a man, you give him a perception. And your perception has always came from an institution that has always been against your evolutionary process. Always been against what you're supposed to be. You are not what you think you are. The constellation in which we are in at the moment is not our constellation. We were taken to Mars by our ancestors. And we were tricked into coming into this earth by somebody else's ancestors. We have books in our genetic codes. The ringing in our ears is binary codes that is typing in things into our DNA that are going to cause us to see things that cannot see us. Some of us will hear the plants and already is. And we're not hearing them through the ear. We are hearing them through vision. Some of us are already hearing the trees. Some of us are already understanding the sign language within the movements of the stars. We are more than human. For those who are Christians, your Bible even says itself to be not of the flesh. It says this because you are not human. And if you believe that God is not human, and you are in the image and likeness of God, then this answers the question of what you really are. Not who you really are, but what you really are. And if you are in the image and likeness of God, and God is everywhere all at one time, then this means that you are a reflection of your Father. So why do you see yourself as a small morsel of flesh, when it is your own book that tells you to be not of the flesh, but be renewed by the energy of the mind? Or be ye renewed by the consuming of that which you put in your mind. Your mind is everywhere. It is not in your head. Your brain is in your head, but your mind is everywhere. And your mind is that which we call space. Everything that is up there is down here. You are unseen, yet you can be seen through the polarity of balance. So between this physical body and space, there is a force that is allowing you to exist in the ocean where you think that you are an individual. It's just like going down into the ocean. You have to put on your bodysuit so that you won't drown. You have to put this body on and come down here. But this is not where you are from. The ocean above our head is a mirror. And in that mirror, we can reflect ourselves into other mirrors within other oceans, meaning other worlds. Our thoughts have faces. Our thoughts are like little people. And we can use our thoughts, right, to send out into the universe things that we chant about. Our thoughts are alive. It's not something that we're just thinking up in our head. It's not created in the head. Our thoughts is created in space. It's not created right here. It's created in space. Well, how does our thoughts come to us so fast? That's the speed of thought. Thought is light. And light travels at a speed that no number can define. And you are light. So if you are light, this means that you can travel at the speed that no number can define. You are immeasurable. You are ageless. And you are all. You are the I am. You are nothing, yet you are everything. Peace.